Game 3 is a wrap, and with another bad three-point shooting night by the Nuggets and another no-show offensive performance by Michael Porter Jr., Nuggets come out of Game 3 with a win on the road to go up 2-1. It was also a huge contribution by Christian Braun, who came up big in a lot of moments for these Nuggets. It's going to get overshadowed by, obviously, the historic triple-double duo performance by Jokic and Jamal Murray. That's what most people are going to be talking about. But what I'm going to be doing on this video, if you've already seen the other ones, is I'm going to be breaking down some of the mistakes that led to the Heat slow and steady collapse throughout this game. The Heat were pretty much in this game up until they started to just snowball with mistake after mistake after mistake. And it was also met with a bad shooting night from three. So I'm going to jump right into these clips and we're going to break these down. All right, so very first play. This is actually going to be kind of like a bonus play because this one was probably one of the most obvious ones out of the rest of these that I saved here for you guys. This one was honestly the start of the slow collapse for the Heat. So we see Kyle Lowry, 3-minute-ish mark in the second quarter. Heat are down 1, and just watch it, right? Just a bad transition play by Kyle Lowry, right? Just trying to make that hero pass. And in a game that's this close, it's just, this is going to be probably the simplest of plays that I wanted to show. And it was just, little things like this are just, they might look like nothing, right? But when the game is slowly getting out of hand, these are the mistakes that the Heat can't afford to make, right? Like, the Nuggets have a bigger margin of error than the Heat do, right? The Heat have to play pretty damn close to perfect basketball because of the talent that they're going up against with the Denver Nuggets, right? So I just wanted to show that quick mistake, right? It was kind of like a bonus play, right? Nothing crazy, nothing complicated, but just one of those things that can't happen, right? There's like 23, 24 seconds in your shot clock, and you're throwing the ball away like that. Unacceptable, right? I want to move on to, I guess, the first official kind of breakdown. So it's about 41 seconds, right, left in the second quarter, and Jimmy Butler has the ball, right? He has it on Jokic. Jokic is giving him the baseline, right, which is pretty standard, right? You kind of want to take him where you can guide him as best as you can, right? Now, Jimmy does the right thing. He takes that, right? He takes what Jokic gave him. So I'm going to go ahead and hit play. So here comes Jimmy. But this is where the problem is, in my opinion, right? Like, this is probably one of those first, I'm going to call them debatables, right? Where people can kind of, I guess, debate either way, what should have been done or if he did the right thing or not. I'm going to stick to my side of this one. And I think that you see Jimmy under the rim here, and we've seen it against Al Horford. We've seen it against Rob Williams. We've seen it against Mitchell Robinson. Brook Lopez, good shot blockers, right? And Jimmy will just stop on a dime here and use the rim for protection and just do a reverse layup, right? Standard reverse layup that we've seen Jimmy do over and over again. And we've also seen him kind of stop in his tracks and get a foul, right? Like, he could also be fouled by the trailing Jokic, right? But instead, we've seen a lot of facilitator Jimmy, right? A lot of give the ball up from this guy in this series specifically, and that's exactly what we're going to see next. So he gives it to Bam, right? I'm going to pause it right here where Bam catches it. Now, I don't know how people are going to feel about where I stand on this play, but I just think the play was just to reverse it, right? Just go for that, right? Go for that. Maybe Jokic fouls you, maybe he doesn't, but I definitely think Jimmy would have made that shot. Now, I'm going to hit play so you can see the rest of this. It's a miss, and it results in a Nugget stop, right? Now, that is one small mistake, right? But it's the beginning of that snowball, right? Just mistake after mistake, right? Little by little, little by little, you just start to see them pile up. Now, I'm going to go on to the next play. Okay, let's see what we're at here. It's about 11:03. Right, left in this third quarter, very beginning of this third quarter, basically. Kevin Love has the ball. Okay, now Bam Adebayo is gonna set a screen on Jamal Murray so that Max Strus can get free. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and let that ride. There's about 8 seconds left where I paused it. Okay, Bam sets a pretty solid screen, right? Definitely good enough separation for Strus to make some things happen, and there's a lot of time. Strus uses that screen, obviously, and he's going to start getting downhill, right? Now, Jamal Murray goes over, because that's basically the game plan on all the shooters, what Denver Nuggets is doing on defense, right? They're going to go over as often as they can on those pick and rolls, right? On those screens. Jamal Murray's officially chasing, right? He's a little bit behind on this play, okay? Now, at this moment, the play for the Miami Heat has always been to give it to Bam on that hard roll, right? But instead, we're going to see Max Strus. He's going to take an extra dribble, right? Here comes Aaron Gordon, right? He's going to help because he has Jimmy beside him. So, Jimmy not standing far enough, right, for that spacing to be there. So Aaron Gordon can really cheat over and help a little bit, right? Also, Jokic is right there. But if we can see right here where I stopped it, look at this free passing window to Bam Adebayo diving, right? Like, if Bam Adebayo catches this pass, which is what the Heat have been doing this entire time, he's going to just get downhill. He's either going to dunk it, or Jokic is going to probably foul him, right? Maybe Jokic contests him, right? Or maybe not, right? Maybe not. Bam's pretty quick. He's definitely quicker than Jokic, right? So if he gets down there, Michael Porter Jr. is on Kevin Love, right? Kind of in this corner area. So if Porter Jr. shows, Bam could kick it out to Love, right? For a good look at a three. Or again, he just has that dive to the basket, Instead, obviously, Strus challenges this play, right? He challenges Jokic, and it's a missed layup, Another stop for Denver. So, it's such a small mistake, but again, the pass is there. So, in my opinion, just make it, right? Just give it to Bam, right? That's worked so much for the Miami Heat over the course of those last 2 games that had just passed that I think you just stick to that formula, right? Until the Nuggets figure out how to beat that, right? And they probably never will, right? Maybe the game plan is just to let Bam go crazy like that, catch those passes out of pick and rolls. But again, the Heat have to get as many great options as they can, right? They have a smaller margin of error, in my opinion, compared to the Nuggets. So you have to take every best available opportunity you can, and to me, the best chance there was to give it to Bam. 10-12 mark, right? Gabe Vincent has the ball. We see Michael Porter Jr., Kevin Love, and KCP all bunched up in this area, right? Now, I'm going to play it kind of slow, okay, so we can kind of see it all happen. So Gabe Vincent, very smart, very patient, right? Really slows it down, just waiting, just waiting it out, waiting to see how the Nuggets rotate, okay? Bam Adebayo sets a really good screen on Michael Porter Jr., okay? Michael Porter Jr. fights through. He catches up to Kevin Love, okay? So far, so good, right? Heat swinging the ball. We see Bam obviously Bam setting a screen. Gabe Vincent gets patient, obviously, and so far, so good for everyone, right? Michael Porter Jr. is here, about to close out on Kevin Love. Aaron Gordon's on Jimmy, right? We have Jamal Murray in the corner. Jokic is on Bam, and everything's pretty good for both teams so far, right? Love catches the ball, and right here where I pause it, you see Aaron Gordon start to cheat over, right? He is concerned with the late closeout by Michael Porter Jr. But Aaron Gordon stops in his tracks right away, right? He's aware that Michael Porter Jr. made it just fine, okay? Now, at this point, Kevin Love realizes that Aaron Gordon cheated over a little bit. So he's going to give it to Jimmy Butler, but I'm going to let it play in a little bit, right, in a second. But I just want to explain something. This is one of those debatables, right, I guess, to me. In my opinion, I would have liked to see Kevin Love just pass fake it to Jimmy because Aaron Gordon already stopped in his tracks, right? Because he's aware that the pass to Jimmy can be made, okay? Now, if we're looking at one side of the floor, right, particularly where Aaron Gordon is, okay, we see Michael Porter Jr., top of the key on Kevin Love, Aaron Gordon on the wing, and we see Strus and Jamal Murray obviously in that corner area. Jimmy Butler's obviously on the wing. So there's a lot of players here, right? There's a lot going on that side of the floor. Jokic is in the middle, obviously, kind of just overseeing the whole thing for the Nuggets. So that side of the floor is pretty contested, right? Bam has some pretty good separation between himself and Jokic, which is the case the entire series. So Kevin Love gives it to Jimmy, right? Jimmy, at this point, he immediately attacks the recovering Aaron Gordon, okay? Now, the problem with this play is that Jamal Murray's right there, and he doesn't have to go too far to close out on Strus if Jimmy makes that kick-out pass, right? So Jamal Murray's able to cheat over. I'm just going to let the rest of it play out, you know? There's the turnover, obviously, but if I go back, right, if we go back, I would have liked Kevin Love pass fake it to Jimmy, right? Kind of keep Aaron Gordon in his tracks, right? Or maybe Aaron Gordon stays right there. Maybe he goes back to Jimmy, maybe he doesn't. But if Kevin Love pass fakes that, and he just gives it back to Bam, right? There's a lot of time on that shot clock. So more can happen for the Heat, right? And the Heat, they do a lot with the time they have. The Heat run great motion offense, right? Not a lot of stagnating things going on for them. So I think with 12 to 13 seconds on the clock, you know, you give it to Bam. Maybe Bam just pops up again because he's been really good from the free throw line and in, right? Just picking and popping, getting to the rim, nice little hook shots, getting past Jokic, right? So Bam's been hot from that area of the floor, and he's got some good separation. So I think that would have been a much better idea than to try to get Jimmy to attack downhill on a very packed part of the floor. You know, and it resulted in a stop, obviously. It was a turnover. So we're going to move on to the next play. So 8:05, third quarter. Jimmy has the ball up top. Here comes Bam Adebayo, right? Surprise, surprise again, right? Here comes the pick on Michael Porter Jr. so that Jimmy can get his matchup against Jokic. We're going to let it play out a little bit. So there's the screen, right? I'm going to pause it right here. Bam sets the pick on Porter Jr. Jimmy's about to obviously get downhill and maybe challenge the Jokic drop because that's what we're seeing right now. Look at the separation. Everyone and their mom knows that this separation is going to happen between Jokic and Jimmy. Now, right here, where I stopped it, look at how far away Michael Porter Jr. is because of the good screen set by Bam. Same mistake that we saw earlier, right? Where they didn't get the ball to Bam, where he's rolling, right? Kevin Love's in the corner here, kind of like on the wing. And Aaron Gordon kind of can't cheat too hard because he has Kevin Love to worry about, right? Jokic is there, but he's covering for Michael Porter Jr. because of that pick with Bam. So Jimmy's got a very easy little pass to Bam so he can get to the basket and maybe make something happen. Again, the options. Bam can dive, finish at the rim. If Aaron Gordon helps, it's a free three to Kevin Love. So there's a lot that can happen here. There's 15 seconds as I stopped it here on the shot clock. So a lot more could have been done here, right? But instead, he challenges the drop coverage. Plus, he was kind of contested by Michael Porter Jr. It was a late contest from the side. But, you know, you take that shot when you have that Bam opportunity with the Kevin Love option possibly there. And I just think that's a bad possession, you know? I just didn't like it. I didn't like it. Let's go to the next play. So on this next play, I know I said I was going to show a bunch of offensive mistakes by the Heat, but I kind of wanted to throw this one in there as like a bonus mistake for Miami, right? Because this one was honestly a very painful one for Miami, especially Eric Spoelstra. I think in this clip, if I remember correctly, I think they're going to show Spoelstra's face right after this whole play. So Jamal Murray has the ball, right? I have it stopped here, 7:51 in the third quarter. Okay, now Jamal's going to get to his little stop and pop area here in the mid-range by the free throw line. Okay, he loves those turnarounds, fadeaways, step backs, all those kind of shots in the mid-range. He loves them. Okay, now I'm just going to hit play so you can watch. Gets to his spot, right? Kind of loses Jimmy. Takes the shot. Pretty good separation, right? Good look for Jamal Murray. It's a tough shot for a lot of players, but he really likes those. The shot is missed, and we can see here, right? Bam Adebayo, good positioning. Kevin Love, he boxes out Aaron Gordon. Gabe Vincent boxes out Porter Jr. Everything's good. right? But Jimmy, just ball watching, right? Thinking maybe Bam's just going to grab it instead of boxing out. And there's Jamal Murray picking it up, right? His own rebound. Unacceptable. He scores, and we see Eric Spoelstra there. Just making a face, right? All right, let's go to the next play. And we're going to see 6:14-ish, third quarter. Gabe Vincent has the ball. We have a lot of things going on here, right? Kevin Love's about to set a pick on Jamal Murray for Gabe Vincent. He's about to give the ball to Bam Adebayo. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and play that. Okay, I'm going to freeze it right here. Bam has the ball at the top. Okay, where's typically where he's going to get it, right? Here comes Kevin Love, right? He's going to start curling around. Gabe Vincent's going to set a screen on Jamal Murray to free up Kevin Love, right? So let's hit play. Really good screen by Gabe Vincent. A lot of good separation. Kevin Love looks like he's going to get a really good look after this. So I'm going to hit play. Right, so right here, okay. Now this is one of those debatables that I was saying, right? My side of this debate is there's 13 seconds left where I froze it, right? A lot of time, okay? Jokic is in a drop, so that's why Kevin Love is gonna decide to take this shot, okay? Now, I understand that this would be a good shot because Jokic is so far from Kevin Love and Jamal Murray's pretty damn late to this chase down, right? So Love likes those shots. A lot of elite shooters, they love coming off of curls, right? They love curling and just taking those shots around the corner. But to me, you know, you're down 10. There's 13, like I said, 13 seconds on that shot clock. I just think, you know, extra dribble maybe, you know, kind of make the defense work a little bit more, right? Like his feet aren't even perfectly set because he's rushing to this shot, right? Because he's getting around that corner, right? He's trying to take that shot as soon as he can, right? If he had just taken maybe an extra dribble, maybe he can find Bam, you know, maybe something opens up because Michael Porter Jr. is looking like he's going to try to help Jokic on the Bam drive, right? And we know that Michael Porter Jr. has been sleeping on defense many, many times in this series and many times throughout the playoffs. So I don't know, you know, it's a lot to think about. It's unrealistic sometimes to think that players are thinking about all these options in literally like a couple of seconds. But I don't know. I just think when you're down 10, you have to maximize the best looks you can get, right? And I guess to that argument, you could argue, hey man, Kevin Love's coming around the curl. He likes those shots. He should take them, you know? So he takes the shot, right? Obviously it's a miss. And we get another opportunity, right? I'm just going to let it play out, right? But they missed that shot, right? So here they come back, right? Luckily for them, they're able to recover that, right? So wasn't the end of the world, right? But I don't know. You know, I just would like to see a little more use of the clock. So I'm just going to let this possession play out, right? Jimmy gets downhill. Typical kind of breakdown by the Nuggets. Just over-helping, right? Collapsing. And Jimmy does what Jimmy does, right? Kick it out, find his shooter. Unfortunately, though, it wasn't a good shooting night for the Heat, right? That's a miss right there. Another one of those misses. All right, I want to show another play right here. 2:58, third quarter, right? It's a 12-point deficit for the Miami Heat. And this is where I think we can say the game just lost its juice, right? I don't even know if that's a saying, but I'm going to say that. Bam Adebayo gives it to Kyle Lowry. There's 18 seconds on this shot clock where I have it frozen. And I'm just going to let this play. Right? Just not ideal, right? You don't want that. That's not the shot you want. With that much time left on the clock and by Kyle Lowry, right? Very streaky shooter, probably the streakiest of any of these guys, right? More often than not, he's going to miss shots compared to those other guys that are out there, right? Like a Max Strus or a Duncan Robinson or a Gabe Vincent, a Caleb Martin. You know, I trust those guys more than Kyle Lowry taking some shots like that. Taking those kind of questionable shots, right? It's a lot of time left. Aaron Gordon's, you know, he's contesting pretty good on that one. And, it's another stop for the Nuggets, right? But it's less of a stop for the Nuggets. It's more of just throwing the ball away, right? From Miami. Just unacceptable plays time and time again. And the game just little by little, it just gets away from you. I want to show one last play on this one. We have third quarter, right? 124. I have the spotlight on Kyle Lowry, right? He has the ball. He's about to make a really good skip pass to the other side of to the other corner over to Caleb Martin, right? Here comes Bruce Brown. Caleb Martin attacks the closeout. It's a really good closeout by Bruce Brown, by the way. Okay. Caleb Martin attacks it. Okay. He gets there really quickly to the middle of the floor. He is about to make a good pass to Cody Zeller. Cody Zeller, unfortunately, though, here, he just a step too early, right? Kind of got ahead of himself here. And right with that, he misses that pass, right? Can't really get a hold on it. And it's another turnover for the Heat, right? So, and then after that, let's keep it 100. After that, this game was basically a wrap. I just wanted to show a lot of the little mistakes that the Heat made throughout this game. I think that whenever you have a bad shooting night and it's coupled with just mistake after mistake after mistake, it's a recipe for disaster, and eventually it's going to be your demise, right? With a loss in this game. The Heat were in this game for a whole half before they just completely snowballed with mistakes, and that's what costed them, right? So I just want to say, I personally think the Heat are definitely in this series. They can still make a big comeback win here, right? I think they're going to come back tomorrow, from the time I'm recording this video, and I think they're going to even the series up 2-2. I think that a lot of people are talking about, the Nuggets have this in the bag, and once they win this game, it's a wrap, and I'm going to say not so fast, right? Not so fast. The Heat are a team that are really good when their backs are against the wall. They made a lot of stupid mistakes, and they had a very bad shooting night. I think that if they have a decent shooting night and they tighten up those little errors, I think they're going to come away with a win in Game 4, and I think it's going to go back to Denver 2-2. That's going to do it for this one. This is the All Things Basketball Podcast. I'm your host, Vic Lopez, as always, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.